Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over some of the latest news coming out of the Philippines. Stick around. Okay guys, so we have some news coming out of the Philippines. The quarantines that are going down in some of the higher risk areas are going to continue, and they're going to be pushed out through May 14th. And likely that basically means that the ban on foreigners coming in still continues as well. Now, they have decided to modify and go ahead and let certain businesses stay open during this time, whereas before they didn't, but now they are letting them. And I think they're starting to figure out life needs to go on. We still need to keep our employment numbers up and stuff. So let's go take a look at those news articles here. Okay, so the first article is the Philippines to release a list of industries allowed to open under modified enhanced community quarantine. Now, initially, the strictest quarantine measure was enhanced community quarantine, and then the one below that's modified enhanced community quarantine. And so they have not come out with the list yet, but they are going to at least allow certain industries to remain open, which is good news for the Philippines, because before they were just shutting all these businesses down. And listen, people need to work and still make money and feed their families. So that's good that they at least have reconsidered and decided to let some industries open. That list has not come out yet. It'll be interesting to see that list when it comes. But that is the first bit of news. As always, these articles are going to be listed down in the comments section. All right, so next up, we got Duterte extends modified enhanced community quarantine in NCR Plus to May 14th. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Mainly, it's affecting Metro Manila and its 4 nearby provinces. Luckily, here in Cebu, it looks like I made a good move coming from Negros Oriental, because they're still having some restrictions and stuff over there. It's not too bad, but they had a little bit of a rise in some cases, and the city of Valencia did a lockdown. But moving out here to Cebu would seem to be a pretty good move for me, because nothing has really locked down or gotten stricter. If anything, things are starting to let up, and things are really kind of seeming almost normal here, other than, again, wearing the mask, face shield on top of your head whenever you walk into a business. But yeah, so we have that. And again, I'm glad I'm not in the Manila area. I really am. But the following areas, meanwhile, will be under general community quarantine. So again, you got the strictest is enhanced community quarantine. Under that, you have modified enhanced community quarantine, general community quarantine, and then modified general community quarantine. So general community quarantine, you have a list of cities here. I won't go through and read them all, but Davao still remains. I've got some friends in Davao, and they are still pretty strict there as well. Rest of the Philippines will be under modified general community quarantine. Luzon, the Western Visayas, and some Zamboanga Peninsula regions are also classified as high-risk areas. But again, here, things aren't so bad. But this is what I was also talking about, is it's a flexible modified enhanced community quarantine. They keep coming up with all these different names. You know, they have these names, and then they add it's modified, and now it's a flexible one, and it's almost comical. But so more businesses are going to be allowed to resume work, keeping border control, strict health protocols. But that's going to be coming out. So again, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. So the last bit of news I wanted to share is that the government not prepared for mandatory inoculation. So a lot of people were worried that, hey, as an expat living here, at some point I may be forced to take the vaccine. And a lot of people do not want to take the vaccine, or they don't want to be forced into it. Also, a lot of Filipinos, the majority, they came out with a survey, and a majority did not want to take the vaccine. So as of right now, they're still saying that it's not mandatory. So that's good for the people who don't want to take it. Those who want to take it, obviously, will. Now, would it ever get to herd immunity if the majority of people don't take it? Probably not. So who knows? I mean, this is the Philippines. At any point, they could go ahead and make it mandatory. You just don't know. But yeah, because it says right now it's because of a shortage in supply of vaccines. So does that mean when they have enough here that they would make it mandatory? I don't know. Again, we'll have to see. So, but they say again, we have not reached that point because we do not have enough vaccines. Why we'll even think of making it mandatory when our supply cannot cover those who want to get vaccinated? So again, is this an indication that the vaccine might become mandatory at some point here? I know they want to get to herd immunity, but if the majority, like a survey that had came out earlier, said the majority of Filipinos do not want to be vaccinated. So does that mean, again, they might never reach herd immunity unless they do make it mandatory? So if they do get enough vaccines, it'll be interesting to see whether they make it mandatory or not, and how many Filipinos they're probably not going to be so happy about that. And a lot of foreigners who are living here may not want to. I've talked to some foreigners who said, you know what, if they make it mandatory, I'll leave. And so interesting time to see what happens. With only 3 million vaccines deployed since March, government's already having difficulty fulfilling its supplies this month owing to a shortfall in deliveries. So again, herd immunity, no one is safe until everyone is safe. You know, it's going to be really hard. So later, it does look like Johnson & Johnson for 6 to 10 million vaccines. There's an agreement with Johnson & Johnson. There was an aborted delivery from Moscow with their vaccines. And again, I'm not going to read these articles in their entirety. You can do that down in the comment section. But food for thought. You know, Manila continues to lock down. It's doing the old 2 weeks at a time. That time comes, if things are still not heading in the right direction, they're going to extend it out another 2 weeks. So that is going to continue to mean that foreigners are banned. The only one I believe that can travel right now is if you're on the Balakabayan visa and your spouse visa and you travel with your Filipina. And I know of a couple that actually just came here last month, and he came with his wife here, and they're now living here, which so is interesting. So yeah, again, let's see what happens. Let's see if these lockdowns continue. A lot of people are still saying, a lot of people are still hopeful that they could get out here this year. I'm still, again, I hate to be so negative and pessimistic, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see it happening. I think next year, I really do. And again, I don't think it will just be the gates open up and everybody comes pouring in. I think it's going to be controlled. I think the first batch of people allowed in are going to be certain countries, those vaccinated, and they will set limits on how many people are allowed to arrive on a daily basis. Will they have free reign of travel, or will it be bubble like maybe what Thailand wants to set up with I think Phuket, where vaccinated tourists can go to Phuket, but would they be allowed to go all over Thailand? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. So stay watching my channel so you're updated whenever any kind of news comes out. I'll let you guys know. And please don't forget, if you do want to watch any of my latest videos, at the end of this video, you guys will see links to those videos, like my recent condo tour, my walking tour through the night market here, and a lot of different videos like that. So thank you guys. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. That way you're updated every time a new video comes up. I'll see you guys next time.
Wow! Come on, groove along. I said, baby, I know you're on a roll. Sweet honey, let's take it real soon.